The 2018 NBA season is over, so I feel like it's a good time to make a video about the underrated players from the 2018 season. Now, the way I will be doing this is introducing a player and then telling you all top 3 stats he has on his team and all top 15 stats he has in the league. Now, there are some restrictions though, as players from their team need to play at least 42 games in at least 10 minutes per game, and players from the league need to play at least 50 games in 15 minutes per game. Also, all the stats are per 36 minutes because a lot of these players don't play much. So without further ado, let's get started. The first player is Darren Collison. Now, Collison played 69 games and started 64 of them for the Indiana Pacers. He led his team in three-point percentage, free throw percentage, assists, offensive rating, assist percentage, assist ratio, turnover ratio, effective field goal percentage, and true shooting percentage. He was second on his team in field goal percentage, and he was third on his team in turnovers and steals. He did all of this while having the second lowest usage rate on the team. Now, for the whole league, he actually led the league amongst guards in three-point percentage and assist to turnover ratio. He was top 10 amongst guards in field goal percentage, and also top 15 amongst guards in free throw percentage, assist ratio, turnover ratio, effective field goal percentage, and true shooting percentage. Now, Darren Collison is a very solid point guard, and I don't think he gets enough credit for his efforts on the Pacers. He was the perfect fit next to Victor Oladipo, as he was a solid passer, took care of the ball extremely well, and had the best three-point percentage in the NBA. Now, the next player up is Tyus Jones. He had the best assist to turnover ratio, and steals on his team. He had the second best defensive rating, net rating, assist percentage, free throw percentage, assists, and turnovers on his team, and third best in offensive rating and plus minus. He did this all while having the lowest usage rate on his team. Now, amongst all guards in the league, he is top 3 in steals per 36 minutes and assists to turnovers. He's top 10 in the league in assist ratio and top 15 in offensive rating. Now, Tyus Jones might not have the best stats compared to some of the other players on this list, but no one really knows who he is when in reality he's a solid bench player. Another thing is that while he may only be the third on his team in offensive rating, usually each of the 5 starters have the 5 best offensive ratings on their team. And it's pretty impressive actually that he has a better offensive rating than 3 starters while he's playing with the bench unit. Now the third player up is Kyle O'Quinn. He was second on the Knicks in every single rebounding category, field goal percentage, blocks, offensive rating, net rating, effective field goal percentage, and true shooting percentage. He was third best on the team in assists, plus minus, assist percentage, and assist ratio. Now, he was top 5 in the league amongst centers in blocks and assist ratio. He was top 10 among centers in assists, assist percentage, and assist to turnover ratio. He was also top 15 in defensive rebounds, total rebounds, defensive rebounding percentage, and true shooting percentage. He also can consistently shoot mid-range shots, as 29% of his shots from this year were greater than 10 feet but less than the three-point line. And from this distance, he shot 45%. Now, he isn't that great of a defender, and he's really only an above-average rebounder, but the ability to pass as a center is pretty big, and also spacing the floor as a center is really what the NBA is changing to, and Kyle O'Quinn can consistently hit mid-range jumpers, as shown by this clip here, where he can hit the deep two. The fourth player is Reggie Bullock. He was first on his team in three-point percentage and pace. He was second on the Pistons in fouls, offensive rating, effective field goal percentage, and true shooting percentage. He was third on the team in field goal percentage and turnover ratio. Now, it's pretty rare to see a non-big man second on his team in effective field goal percentage and true shooting percentage, because both of those stats usually belong to big men or the best of the best players in the NBA. Now, he is top 3 amongst small forwards in effective field goal percentage, three-point percentage, and personal fouls. He is top 5 amongst small forwards in turnover ratio and top 10 in field goal percentage, turnovers, and true shooting percentage. Now, Reggie Bullock isn't the best player, of course, but similar to Tyus Jones, he's pretty much just forgotten by NBA fans, when in reality, he's an above-average bench player. Now, the last player on this list is Royce O'Neal, and just like Reggie Bullock, his league stats are based on small forwards only. He's first on his team in defensive rating and net rating. He's second on his team in plus minus offensive rating and defensive rebounding percentage, and third on his team in 3-point percentage. Now he's doing this while having the second lowest usage rate on his team. Now he has the best defensive rating in the NBA among small forwards. He's top 5 in the league in net rating and defensive rebounding percentage, and also top 10 in rebounding and plus minus. Now, it would make sense that he has the best defensive rating among small forwards if he started and played alongside Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell with the second best defensive rating in the NBA. But he comes off the bench and he has the best defensive rating. Now, his defensive rebounding stats may not seem like much, but he's only 6'6", and he's going up for rebounds with people that could be half a foot taller than him. Now, while Rudy Gobert is a finalist for Defensive Player of the Year, Royce O'Neal has done a lot defensively for the Jazz. Now, of course, there are more underrated players in the NBA, but I just felt that these were the 5 most underrated players in the league. Now, Jerian Grant and Chris Dunn are both pretty underrated, but also they both can't shoot that well. Now, Kelly Olynyk is also pretty underrated, but he just isn't a good rebounder, turns the ball over too much, and isn't that good of a defender. Now, Thomas Satoransky is also very underrated, and while he shoots the ball well, I just don't think there is a big enough sample size to definitively say he's one of the top 5 underrated players in the league. So those are the top 5 most underrated players from the 2018 NBA season. Leave a like if you've enjoyed, and drop a comment down below if you have another underrated player from the 2018 season.